So we've got the light green background that we've mixed with whatever shade green you've got and white to make it a very, 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 very pale background. You've dried it with the hair dryer, and now you've traced your birds. And then we are going to start working on our background flowers. We're going to do a lot of drawing this time. You don't, if you have a Sharpie, you can use it. You can also use a graphic pencil. Chalk, I don't think would be too good on this because a lot of times we'll trace with chalk, but there's too much detail here. And if you're using chalk, your hand's going to be on here and you're going to be wiping the chalk off, and it just won't work. So either a graphic pencil, don't press hard, or your marker, your Sharpie will be fine to draw flowers and get our background done. I've been doing a lot of bird paintings lately. I don't think it's because I have birds, it's just something I've been doing, and it's like, I was wondering the other day, is this because I have all these birds, or am I just liking bird paintings? I don't know. So, let's see. Are you done? Okay, Brad, are you ready to move on? It looks like you are. Andrea, are you ready to move on? No. Jamie, are you guys ready? Peter's ready to move on? Not yet. Okay, no problem. Mary Lou, you are. Okay. While you're taking your time there, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put something up here now where I've got the birds, because you already know where the birds are going to go. And I just did a few samples of flowers. So while we're waiting for everybody to be ready, for those who have some time on your hands, you want to try something out, get a piece of paper and let's play around with trying to build some of these flowers so that, okay, the regular flowers like these are simple, all right? You know that. You put a center and then you put your little petals overlapping each other. But the ones I want you to take a look at would be this one that kind of looks like a pineapple. I think that's an important one that we learn to do. And then this other one that is like a little bunch of flowers at the top of the painting. There's two of those up at the top. And I'd like you to practice those so that when you actually put them on the painting, you're comfortable with it. So I'm going to show you. Let's take a look at this one here. It just looks like some sort of a tree or a bush that we're going to draw. So you're just going to do a straight line, kind of straight up. And then you're going to do little lines coming off of it. You're making it, it's going to look like a little tree. This one right here, it's going to look like a tree. So you're going to do a line. And then you're going to have little lines coming off. And you don't want them to be straight, okay? And they can go anywhere. Just have some lines coming off. You're doing a tree idea. As many as you want. Just doing this kind of an idea right here. So you're just practicing with this. You're not putting it on. I mean, you can put it on if you want, but I'd like you to practice. Now the flowers for those, and don't worry, those who aren't ready yet, just take your time, okay? The flowers for those are just, they're kind of circular, only they're ziggy-zaggy lines, okay? So it's not like drawing a circle, it's putting it in the shape of a circle, but you're having your lines kind of go awkward and out of shape from it because it's forming a petal of some sort. So you see what I just did up here? Take a look at this one right here. I can bring it closer. This one right here, you see what I did there? So I still stayed in that circle dynamic, but I didn't make a circle like this. I took my lines and just jiggy-zaggied them as I was going around, making them so it was an uneven circle like that. And that's how you do those flowers. They're,
So I'll let you know, Debbie, I'm ready.
okay, so all I'm showing you now is to practice some flowers before you actually put them on your painting. So what we've done is we wanted to practice this one first, Andrea. So you draw like it looks like a little tree. See, I just did a fast one here. So just a line up and some little branches coming off. It looks like you've done a tree. And then on the end of each one of those little branches is where you're going to put one of these funky little flowers. So I just want you to practice it so when we actually put it on the painting, you'll kind of have an idea how to do it. So the tree, you won't have any trouble doing the stem. It's just when you do the flower, all you do, and I'm going to repeat it, is instead of, you're going to go in a circle. So you're doing a circle like that, but you're actually, so you're doing a circle like this idea, but you're actually going around and you're making your circle zigzagged a little bit all the way around. And that's how you do the flowers. And a couple of the flowers are a half a flower instead of a full flower. So you would do a half a circle, but as you're doing the half a circle, you're just going to kind of zigzag the petal. So that would be like a half of the circle. So you might have a couple of those on there. There's only one or two that you're going to put on there. Once you've got that circle done, that's when you put your little, it's supposed to be kind of like a stem in the middle, and you got lines coming out. So just give a practice to that, just so that you've got an idea of how that goes. And the half circle, you would put your stem towards the bottom of the half circle, down here, and then you'd have some little lines coming out of it, like that. So those are the two that I want you to practice to be able to do this flower. We have 2 bunches of those on there. These are easy to do. These, no matter how you do them, they're going to look good. These big daisies or whatever they are, okay, you're going to be fine with doing those. I wanted you to practice that one. Leaves, I think you're going to be okay with. They're just like teardrops. And then I want you to practice the one that looks like a pineapple. It's a clover, I think. And those are kind of a rose color, you know, when you see clovers on the ground. So with that, the way I did that was I did a oval. So I started with an oval, and I'm going to do one here. Let's see if I can do a bigger one. Let me try to do a bigger one for you to see. So you're going to do an oval. Just like a face, an oval. Do you see that? So you've got an oval. And then you're going to start with little things that point up. So we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to bring out a little kind of pointy thing and bring it down. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. A little point like that. And then we're going to start working up, doing those same sort of little pointy fingers coming up. So now let's do something here, and now let's start working from there. So we're going to do a little pointy finger, and we're going to bring it down. And then next to it, another one coming up and bringing it in. Just keep doing these little pointy things like little petals. And you're just going to keep doing these little pointy things, building it all the way up to the top. So just keep going. Right now we're practicing, okay? We're practicing.
Flower.
Yeah, that's good for the flower. That's good. And when you put them on your actual painting, you're going to want those petals to be a little longer. All right. Some of them will be small, I like that, and some will have longer petals. So with this, you just keep building it up with these little pointy things. All I want you to do is please practice this one, because this one, it's not that easy, but you can do it. So you're just going to do these
Are
little...
we building up with the pointy?
The points just keep going up. See how this is here? Over here where my pen is shaking. Now here, we're just going to, you just keep going until you get to the top. You just keep, so you'll go like in between the petals and put another petal. So if there's a little space there, we're going to build another little pointy petal in between the spaces. And we're going to keep going. And just keep doing these little pointy petals. And it'll look good. We're going to paint it, remember, so it's going to be that nice purpley pink color. You just keep doing that all the way to the top. Just these little points going up. And you can have them coming a little bit off the oval. So if you want, so it's coming a little off the oval. Bring more points. Just keep putting little pointy petals there. Nobody can say if they're right or wrong. Do you see how I'm building it up? They're not perfect, but that's the way it looks. And that's going to look nice when it's all painted. Where you're just giving yourself something to work with. You see how I'm building it up along the side here? I'm just doing points. Every time there's, if you look up for a second, you see how there's a petal, and then it scoops down. There's an empty space. So where that empty space is, that's where I'm going to bring a petal up. Empty space, make a petal. Empty space, make a petal. Just keep, and you don't even, once you start doing it, you'll get used to it and it won't be hard for you. And you'll just be able to build it. So that was the other one I wanted you to practice. You don't have to complete it. I just wanted you to practice so you knew how to put the petals upon petals upon petals as it builds up. The completion will be on the actual painting. There's a few of those now that we're going to have to do. 1, 2, at least 2 or 3. The only other one, I think, leaves are easy to do, and that's right here. It's just a teardrop, and they go in the different directions, the leaves. So a teardrop coming down, and they all attach to each other. You can make them longer leaves, shorter leaves, however you want them. And then we've got the ones that go along the right hand side, which are a purpley color, and they look like this. So I just did a stem to show you. So this would be a stem, and you've just got little stems coming off of it, and I'll give you an idea. So I did these two here, and all you do is you do like little, almost like teardrops, the same idea. So it's fatter at the bottom and it comes up to a little point at the top, and then like that, like a leaf. Do you see that? Over here. Right there. So once you've practiced that, we can start putting it actually on the canvas or on your pad. So I think maybe we'll start with the one that's maybe a little more difficult. And I'm going to start to draw it, and then when you're ready, you can start. So we're going to look at our bird, and don't mind my nails. I just realized I need to get done. And we're going to make this flower look like it's coming out of his head, but actually he's in front of the flower. So this stem is going to come up where his head is. I'll start to do this here, like so. And then we're going to put all these little stems coming off of it. So let me do it, and then you can do it. And then we're going to do some that swoop upwards.
Which flower are you doing?
We're doing the one that looks like this. We're starting with this one. So we're just doing this tree-like idea, the branch, the stem of the flower. We're starting with that first. And then we'll have a couple of...
Now, we want to make that over a Sharpie?
Yeah, just do it with a pencil or a Sharpie, because you're going to... We're going to paint it, and you won't be seeing that anyway. We're putting everything in there now, and then we're going to paint it. Every area where you did a little stem is where you're going to put a flower. And remember, these are those little flowers that they're kind of circular, but they're squiggly circles. Squiggly circles. So I'm going to draw a couple, and then you can see what they are. You take your time. When you're ready, you're going to do it, okay? We're not going to rush through this. I'm just going ahead because there's people who are ready. So, start over here. And we want our circles to be all squiggly like that. You see how I'm doing that? You can do a couple of them where they're a half flower. All I'm doing is putting a bunch in there. And then if you want, you can fill in a few little small ones in there where they overlap a little bit onto the stem. Remember, we're going to be painting these, so we're just getting the idea and getting it set up. And when you get that one drawn, there's another one that also looks like it's coming off of his back. And we're going to do that one over in this area. And then we're going to build that little tree type thing, so the little stems that are coming up. And we'll put flowers in there also. And we've got a little green thing that's going to come here. So if you just kind of follow what I'm doing, you're going to do it your own way, of course, but just kind of put things in those places. Everything will be the way you want it. Your flowers are going to look like the way you want them to look. But if you have them about in the same spots, it's going to look good. So I'm just putting them in there, every little place. You don't have to worry about putting your stems or anything in that. You'll put in after you've painted it. So once you're that far along, you're going to let me know. You don't want to go too far ahead of anybody. I'm just putting a stem in here that's actually we're going to work with.
I thought we were trying to do a flower, and so I took mine and did that.
Okay, all right, you got it on there. That's okay. Wherever you're comfortable with it. Remember, we're going to paint it, so it's going to look beautiful once we start painting it, okay? The drawing is just so that we know where it's going to be and how it's going to be. We've got something to work with.
Okay.
So we have two of those kind of flowers on top of the bird, looking like they're on top of him. He's actually in front of that. And then I started now with another stem coming straight down, kind of curved a bit here. And that stem is going to have some little purple flowers coming off of it. So right now I'm just doing some little stems coming off of that stem that I just drew. And that's where we're going to put those little purple guys. And when you're ready, once you've drawn that stem that starts up at the top of the bird's tail and then scoots down, curving in towards the other bird a little bit. Once you've drawn that and you've got some little teeny stems coming off of it, it doesn't matter how many you've got, and it doesn't matter. You're going to draw it your way. So we're going to put those little teardrops. We're just going to draw a bunch of teardrop petals, and that's what we're going to paint purple. So I'm going to do a couple so that you can see it. And then you can create your own. So I'm just doing a few. And then you are going to do your own little teardrop petals. And if you can see, I'm doing some teardrop petals there right now. And I'm going to do them all the way. And they're just going to be pretty. They're just going to be, once you've painted them, they'll be a purpley color and they'll look nice. And some of them are actually looking like they're floating in the air. Maybe they've fallen off, or maybe there's a petal over on the other side. So just draw yourself some little teardrops going all the way down this one stem. And certainly don't worry if they're not all identical. I just gotta check. I keep moving the canvas, and I gotta make sure the recording is getting it. Yep, we're good. So I'm only going down so far with these. I'm not going to go all the way down here. I'm going to finish off up here. You're going to see what I'm doing. Because we're going to have some flowers down there. And I might throw a couple in here. So you can see it's starting to look like what we want it to look like. When you do your flowers, if you look up for a second, the way I have the petals, if you notice, they're not all exactly the same. You can do it that way. You can do them all the same if you'd like, which would look a little bit more like this one here. Or you can do them kind of uneven and it'll look like it's blowing a little bit in the wind. If you see this one, looks like the petals are blowing. So you can certainly do it that way too. You can have them all different sizes, like this one.
What do you think of that be?
Okay,
Or,
so I can't see it.
yeah, if you look closer.
Okay, yeah, put some stems on there, Andrea. Like, see here, I've got some stems coming off. Or put more of the petals, so that it doesn't just look like it's a line of petals. Put some like uneven, like you see how it's like a couple over here.
Some uneven, and there's little leaves as well.
Okay. All right, so
I can do an offshoot of it.
yeah, just do a couple extra little petals in there, that's all. And then we're going to do a small little flower coming off of here. And I will do it, and then you can copy that. So this one here is just going to be, it's not like a big fancy one. It's more going to be in the background. But we've just did just some petals sticking out so it has the appearance of a flower. And then I'm going to do the bigger flower underneath of it. So I'm going to start to draw that. And then you can keep looking up here and comparing and making sure that you're kind of following in with that. So I'm going to just draw this guy here. So we're going to start with the center. We do a circle. And then we start putting the petals.
Hey Debbie,
Yep.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, you just wanted it to have more of a look of more petals, that's all.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that bottom one now.
Which bottom one?
Hang on. Down here. I did this little, just some petals coming off of this strand that you just did. It's going to be kind of a lighter flower. Now I'm doing the bigger flower that's actually going to be showing up the yellow flower. This will be much brighter. So I'm starting to put the petals on that one. So I've done a flower here now. Let me move this and show you. This one here. Remember, we're painting all of this, so it's going to look a lot different once we paint it. We're just getting it on there. So I did this kind of background flower, just a few petals. I put like 5 petals there. And then I did the larger one here. And then there's also a larger flower that goes in between the 2 birds. So just like you did the one at the bottom here, if you've done it, and if you haven't, you'll get to it. We will do one in between the 2 birds. So I will draw that, and then you'll be able to look up and follow that. And his petals kind of go over the bird a little bit, and that's okay. You're going to paint that, and it will look nice. So I just put a flower up here in between the 2 birds. And when we paint it, you'll be able to put a couple green stems on it. Right now, we're just putting the flowers where they belong. And right under the bottom bird, there's another kind of flower there. And that's just a bunch of petals. If you look at this one here, it's more of a bunch of petals like that. There's Not really that much of a center. You can put like a little dot, but you're not doing a big circle center. So I will show you, and that's a lot more petals, and they're narrower. So I'm gonna put just like a little dot, and I'm gonna build some petals there, much narrower. You just want to have a lot of petals. So that's a flower that's going to be coming from down at the bottom. So we're doing more drawing than we ever done when we're in a painting, but it has to be with this type of painting. We have another little grouping of different kind of flowers on the left-hand side under the bird's tail, and they just look like a bunch of little circles, not quite, but the circle idea. And I am going to do some of those too, so when you're done with these and you look up, you can work on some of those. So we're just going to put probably about 25 little circles over there, all on like little clusters. So we're just going to start doing some circles, little not quite circles, kind of jagged ones. You just want all these little blossoms to be showing. And that goes right down to the bottom of your page. And you can have a little bit smaller ones, bigger ones. We'll be putting some leaves in there, but we'll just do that when we bring the dark green on here. We just want the main flowers in here. You want to have your flower at the beneath the bird's tummy to be a lot of little petals on it. So if you've already drawn it and you need a few more petals, just put them in there. We're going to do 3 of those clovers. when you're ready, we'll move on. So what I did now is I just put 3 little stems that I can put the clovers coming off of. So here's my bird, and that's on the bottom, and above his back, above his tail, is one little teeny stem. Above his wing is another little stem, and above that is another. And that's where we're going to put our clovers. The clovers are the ones that look like pineapples.
Gabby,
Yes,
what
dear.
do you have under the tail?
All little circular, kind of zigzag circular guys. See all that? They're all piled on top of each other. And they're just going to be like a light yellow. Mm-hmm. They're going to be a light yellow flower. And I'm going to put my ovals to start to decide where the clovers are going to go. So when you're ready for that, then you're going to start to work on that. But right now, I'm just putting it there so you know. They look like little balloons. And the bottom one's not quite a full oval. Now you're going to be painting these, so, you know, drawing them in with the marker is good, but then you're going to paint them and you're going to be going over your marker, unless you can paint with a small brush in between the markers for the clovers. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start to put the little points. All you do is put points upon points. Every place where there's a space where you've put a point, you're going to put another point. A little pointy thing.
What is it?
I'll show you. You see how I did that over there? Let me move it over. It's just going to be a clover. And you're going to actually...
So when you outline it and make it like a clover, okay, like a flower.
Yeah, and you're actually going to paint all of that. So if you're very careful, you can go in and paint in between the black lines, then it'll really look like a clover. Otherwise, when you're painting it, you'll have to use a couple of shades of pink and purple. But I'm hoping we can just leave it like that and paint in between. That will be the best way to do it. And like I said, just make your little petals. Nobody can tell you if they're wrong or right. You just want it to resemble a clover. Once it's painted, it will look very nice.
Mine look more like pine cone.
That's okay.
I'm sorry, but they honestly do.
Yeah, they do. They're cute though. Once you paint them, they're going to be fine.
I know. I know. Once I paint them, they will fine. 3, 4, 5.
Then you try to put some leaves on there. We're going to have fun once this is ready to paint. And where those stems end, you just put some leaves.
Shape of these.
You're just going to put random leaves in the background.
Oh, okay.
So just look up every once in a while and see the way it's presented. And like I said, you're going to do it the way you see fit. But we just want to have the main idea here. People will see the clovers, they're going to know they're clovers. They're going to see daisies or whatever we want to call those. So it looks really busy like that. The only thing we don't have is that shadow. And I don't really want you to do that right now. I think that'll be a bit much. You can make sure you put some little leaves in there, but we can do that once we start painting. So how are we doing with the actual drawing? Is everybody doing okay?
I'm done.
Okay. So I think what we'll do, how is everybody with their drawing, guys? Are we okay with the drawing? Oh, look at you, you're already painting. You're funny. Okay. So I think we need to start to do some painting here. So let's get an idea of what our birds are going to look like before we go. Let's draw a little bit of detail into the bird, just so that we've got a little plan here. So the bird, the top bird, has a little crown, and it's black. So we're gonna just draw it in so we know what we're working with, and it goes kind of like that. So he has a little crown, and then his little beak goes like this, and like this. And then we have his eye. Just so you know what you're working with. So a little crown, little beak.
I can't even see the order.
I can bring it up closer. Can you see it?
Oh, okay.
He's got like a little crown on his head, then his eye, and you put the little line in his beak. And then we're just gonna put his wing about where it's supposed to be so that we can, when it's time to paint, we're ready to go. So his little wing is gonna go about here. And then of course we got his feathers. And here we've got some feathers. This is just for you. This isn't probably anything you're gonna actually see there. And then that's just so that we know what we're working with. And then we've got our bottom bird. We might as well get his crown and everything in there. So he actually comes down, and it goes around, and then it goes up. Like that. And then there's his feathers that come here. And his face, he's got this little thing that comes down. Like that. And his eye. That's just so that you got an idea, okay? So you know what you're working with. So now you know what you're going to work with here. And it's already looking good. Can you imagine once it's painted? So our bird's ready. So everything is ready to go. If you're ready, we're all ready. So we've got the background light green. So you don't have to do anything with the background. So we want to work on our flowers. We're going to start from the top and we're going to move down, ladies and gentlemen. Best way to go. So we're going to put some white on your tray. And we're going to take a fairly small brush. if you're ready. Now, who's got the original picture there? Can somebody hold it up for me? Because I don't have it, the colored one. I need to see the top for a minute. What are those, what are the flowers at the top? They were white, weren't they? Yeah, they're like a whitish. Okay, I'm good. So let's paint those top little flowers all white to start with. And then we have to fill them in. So we're gonna start at the top. And we're gonna paint every one of them. If you wanna show your black line, that's good. But it's not necessary. You can have some of it showing. Every flower, let's make them white. When it dries, then we're going to do some stems and a few things in the middle. So let's get everything white. So all of them that look like this one that we're painting now, that's the ones you want to paint white. And what I'm doing is I'm basically dabbing the paint on so it's leaving a little bit of a texture. And you're gonna go and do all of them. So the flowers on the left and the flowers on the right that are all that same flower, they're all gonna be done in white. And you're dabbing it. And you can leave a little bit of the black showing. Just those ones, okay? Just those. You may want to go over them again once they're dry. You'll see how they look. But you are going to put some stuff in the middle. Little stems. So when you've got those little flowers dabbed in, I'd like you to put a little bit of darker green on your tray. So even the green that you had, but you ended up mixing it to make it that light green, you just put some of that on your tray. And I am not putting much at all. There's just this little dab of it. And if you have a small brush, which I would prefer, then I want you to, everywhere where you see a stem in the area of the flowers that we just painted, very carefully, you're going to take that darker green and you're going to go over that stem. so the stem becomes green instead of black. Every spot, every area on that little stem tree thing that you built, and you can actually have it go around a little bit on the flower if you want. So just right up all the way, every single stem that attaches to the white flower is now becoming green. I'm so impressed with all of you that you're even trying this one. But you know, you have amazed me with your talents. Some of the ones we've done recently are certainly not beginner. And if you've thrown in a few little leaves underneath of that, do those green too right now. Everything that has to do with that flower. So I've done that side now. Now I'm going to move over and I'm going to do this, the second flower and the few little leaves I've got there. Just bring your green right down, blending it in to the next stem. And some of them I'm putting green around the bottom of the flower just a little. Like it's cupping the flower. Not doing it to all of them, just to some of them. We also have a few, no, I think that's it for leaves right now. You could do the stem. On the right-hand side, there's a stem that has the purple flowers that are going to come on it. So you could, as long as you've got green on your brush, you could just do that green on that stem. So you should be close to having those flowers up there painted. And then the green stem coming down where we're going to have those purple flowers. You can paint that. if you have any questions or you want me to stop or you want a little break here or whatever you want, if you're saying, wait a minute, you're going too fast, just tell me, okay? I have to tell you that this has been a fantastic time working with you guys this year again. I love every minute of being with you. So I'm thinking everywhere where you see some leaves that you've put in there, you can paint those green. So that's what I'm doing. I'm every leaf that's on here now is being painted green, okay? Then we're gonna go in and put another shade of green on top of some of the leaves after we get the flowers done. This painting would be a really nice birthday gift or something for somebody.
What color of green are we making the leaves?
Your darker green, whatever green you've got without lightening it up.
Okay, and you're working on the shamrocks, right?
Yeah, I did all the green stems that are part of the white flower that you just painted. We did all of those. And then the one line, the one stem coming down, where on the right-hand side, there are going to be purple flowers. And now anywhere where you've drawn some leaves, you might as well, now that you've got green on your brush, you may as well do all of those stems and leaves your green color. As long as you've got green on your brush, let's just use it up. So anywhere where you've put leaves, you can fill them in. When everything's dry, we're going to go on the leaves and do a few little veins in them and fill that in. We're all so quiet. I know you're all muted. Probably talking, but I can't hear you. So if you look up, you can see that I'm just painting all the leaves right now. Everywhere where there's a leaf. Okay. You may decide to add a few extra leaves, but don't worry about that at this moment. You should hear how noisy they get if they all decide to chirp at once.
Are we doing the rocks at the bottom?
No, not yet. Those are going to be actually, I believe, yellow.
Okay.
We're just doing leaves right now.
Orange.
Anywhere where you see a leaf. And, you know, like I said, you can add in leaves if you want to. So when you've got these leaves done, if you'd like to put some purple on your tray, we'll start with a purple and then we can actually put a little pink with it after, but let's just put a little purple on our tray when you're ready. Purple, violet, whatever color you've got. And that's where we're going to paint this right-hand side where we see all those little petals. Those are all purple. And you can just use a smaller brush, nothing too big. And you're just going to paint them a purple color, violet or whatever color you're working with. And if you look up, you can see how they're looking, okay? I'm just doing the purple now. And try not to be real concerned about deep detail. Just take your brush and fill in what you had drawn in there. If you can see some of that green in the background, you're okay, because it'll look like a highlight on it. And you may choose to put a few more of those on. Once you've painted the ones you've drawn, if you think there's not enough, then put some more on there. So I'm working on the purple. When you're ready, that's where you're going to be working. Is everybody okay? We're all good? Yes, yes. I can see your heads bobbing up and down.
I'm done mine.
Everybody okay? No problems? Okay. So we're just working on the purple now. If you're there. And like I said, once you put your purple flowers in, if you think you need more, put them in.
What can I do now, Debbie?
You got all that, honey? Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're ready to move on to, I think we're gonna work on our top bird. As long as your purple flowers are dry,
Okay.
make sure
We'll
they're
try
dry.
them.
Okay. And to work on your bird, if we're gonna work on the top bird, now, the couples that are here, remember, you don't have to do, you can do yellow, and you can do blue, you can do red birds, if you want your birds to look different. Because it will look pretty, it'll look like they're in the same scenery, but it's different birds. So if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. So you'll need black on your tray, you'll need a little white, and you're gonna need a nice color. So if it's gonna be yellow, get your yellow out. And let's get a nice bright color to make that bird.
What are we supposed to do on our bird? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
You're just gonna put your colors on your tray right now. So your colors for the top bird are yellow, black, and white. So you're gonna put some of those colors on your tray, making sure you have that. You don't need a lot of white. Yellow, black, and white. And you'll start with the yellow first.
What if you want to make your birds a different color?
Yeah, then you just get the colors you want. I'm just suggesting what, you know, you, like I said, you can have any color you want. I'm gonna do him yellow, like our original here. So I'm just gonna start painting his body that yellow color. And his wing will be a different color. And I'll probably have to paint a second coat on him. Sometimes the yellows that we get, they don't show up the way you want them to. So sometimes you really have to do 2 coats. I'm putting a little bit of yellow into his tail, and then we'll paint some black on his tail. I'm using the really small brush again, so I have to rinse it because it has green on it. But I want to get around his face without making a mess. So that's why I'm using the smaller brush. So so funny that we're doing birds and we have the birds chirping. It's almost like I put a recording on to go along with the painting. Now this bird, around his eye, there is white. So when you get to that point, around his eye, just put in some white around, right where you did his eye. Just a little bit. We'll put the white on his wing after, because there's some white in there and some black on his wing. We're going to do the black soon, but the white will wait. And the top of his head is black. So you're going to want to dip in the black and do the top of his head. Make sure you wipe your brush down a little bit so it doesn't drip onto the bird, onto his body. And you're going to paint the top of the little hat on him. He has a little bit of a cap on his head. And then we've got some black on his wings. And all you do when you put those wings on is you just put your brush on your canvas and just sweep it off. So you're touching your canvas and then you sweep it to the right, lift it up a little bit and swoop it upward, and that will give it like a feathery look. And he should have some feathers on the back there coming out a little bit. And then you want to do his tail in that same manner. You just put the black on the painting and swoop it up, and it will give you a feathery look. And the inside of his eye is black, so you put white around it, and then you're going to put black on the inside of his eye. And we put a little teeny white dot in that eyeball. With the back of your brush, you just make a little white dot in there. Not quite in the center, just off a little bit. And we'll put some shading on him in a little few minutes. Now his beak, you can make his beak a brown color if you'd like. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of brown and I'm gonna mix a tiny bit of white with it just to give it a lighter brown because I don't want it dark brown. I'm just gonna do his beak. When you're ready, that's what you're gonna do. So I did his beak. And if you'd like, you can go to the next flower when you're ready. It's directly beneath that bird that we just painted. It's the flower in the middle. And that can be white, that can be yellow. You can make that pink. You don't have to go with the yellow and black. That's up to you. If you're gonna do it yellow, I would suggest you don't do the same color yellow you did your bird. So, I'm trying to think of what color I want to do that one. Our clovers are going to be pink. So, I think I'll do it yellow, but I think I'm going to do that one a very light yellow. So I'm going to mix some white in with my yellow, and that's the color I'm going to make the flower in the middle. You can make it whatever color you want to make it. So I'm just making it I'm taking my yellow and I'm mixing white in with it, and I'm just going to make it a light yellow. And then I'll put a black stem, I think. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm making it a much lighter color than the bird. When you're ready, work on that flower there. You see how it is a totally different color than I took the color that I was working with, but then I added some white so that it looked like a different color. How you guys doing? Jamie and Martha, you okay? Wow. Gorgeous. Beautiful. You guys are fast. You are fast. You could be set up somewhere and be professionals.
Yeah, that's what Martha used to call me, fast.
I bet.
Not anymore.
No, you're really quick with that. That's amazing. Probably everybody's like that. I'm trying to go slow enough so we can all be on the same page. I don't want to rush anybody.
No.
So that's center flower. Remember, whatever color you want it to be. And if you want more purple flowers, put them in.
Is this the last class?
Yeah, until September. From what I understand.
Yes.
So when you've done your center flower, remember we're going to do you can do more shading and stuff on your bird, but we wanted to wait for it to dry a bit. What you can do though is if you've got, if you'd like, you can put a little white in the bird's feathers now above the black. Be careful when you're putting it there because it'll blend. But just a few little white feathers would be good there. Just touching it lightly, and maybe a few just touching lightly throughout it. Even on the tail, you can put a few little white feathers there, like that.
Are we putting purple on the clover?
Yeah, we're gonna put we're gonna work with pink and purple for the clover. So that would be the next thing we're gonna do now. So you should have some purple on your tray already. So all you gotta do now is put some pink. And that's how you're gonna do your clovers.
Pictures on mute, please.
What?
Pictures on mute.
Press the mute, press the mute, press the mute. That's what it sounded like. Okay, so you've got.
Debbie, just gonna let you go.
What's that?
I have to let you go.
Oh, you have to go?
Show you.
Okay, let's see. Pat, she's gotta go.
There you go.
Gorgeous. Did you see that, Pat?
Christine, can you send us a snap of it after?
Yeah, when I'm done?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
No problem.
Have a good summer.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Debbie, for everything.
Thank you. Bye, honey.
Bye.
Bye, Debbie.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. She's going.
Christine's going.
Is it? It's not 3 o'clock yet, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Almost.
It's about 2:57.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
I know. I'm fine. Have fun.
Well, I'm okay, but I don't know what you're gonna do, Pat, because this was a harder one. So what are we gonna do?
If you're available, then let's continue.
Yeah, probably not more than a half an hour. Let's.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some pink and some purple. We're gonna put both of those colors on a brush, pink and purple. Okay, and that's how we're gonna do. We're gonna go in the lines of these clovers. So pink and purple. Try to let some of the dark lines show through so it looks, you know, we can see that clover look. The pink mixed with the purple. You don't have to mix them up. It's okay if you see the pink and the purple separately. And when that's all dry, if you want to put a few little black lines in there, you can do that to bring the little petals showing up more. That's up to you. So the pink and the purple on your clovers.
I just have purple with white.
That's good.
Oh, there. And I want the black shoulder.
Okay. Good. So I think the next step is the bird because we're moving ourselves down the page. Down the. I'll be all right. So yellow and brown. Yellow and brown. So
The middle flower done.
the middle flower is done. Yeah. You can put some highlights on it after, as well as the white flowers at the top. But we want to try to get through the painting. The white flowers at the top, you can just put some little black or green little lines going through them just to make it look like stems in there. And the middle flower, yeah, you could just put a little bit of darker yellow mixed in to highlight it on the edges. on the middle flower if you wanted to do that. I can show you. Clean off a brush. So with this middle flower, you see, I can just throw some yellow on the edges. Do you see what I'm doing there, guys? There's that middle flower, and I'm just taking a little yellow, and I'm putting it on the edges, because my flower is yellow. Depends on what color you made your flower. So if you made it pink, you might want to put a little purple on the edges, just to give it more of a dimension instead of flat. Okay? And I'll show you how that looks, and it totally gives it more of a true life look than looking that real flat look. You see what's happening to that flower? Now it's looking more realistic. There. So you can do that with that one. And you can do just little lines in the ones at the top, and I'll show you that also. If I have any. I don't have the color I want here, but I gotta put, okay, we're gonna put brown, and we're going to have you should have black and white on your tray already. A little bit of white, brown, and yellow for your bottom bird, or whatever color you're making them. Great. What's wrong with my brown? Oh, I think this is the brown that was no good. Okay, excuse me 1 second. Just gotta get my other brown. Okay, got it. So, we need brown, yellow, white, black. This one's giving me an issue too.
Okay, what color is our bottom bird stuff doing?
The bottom bird? Or the bottom?
Yep.
The bird is going to be, if you're doing it the way I'm doing it, it's brown, yellow, black, and white.
Okay.
And my brown is being stubborn in all the different browns that I'm trying to pull up here. There we go. So now, of course, what happens is a whole ton of it comes out. Isn't that the way it happens, huh? Start off with one thing and then that's what happens. Okay. So, clean off my fingers. So we're going to start with the yellow. We're going to do his bottom of his body yellow. Okay? So, the bottom. So under his neck, all through here, he's yellow. All through there, yellow, okay? And that will go back to his tail. Not all of it, though. And he's probably going to need a second coat, too, which we won't be doing together. I'll go back and do that second coat after. So I've got it yellow there. And then we'll do the brown, which is on the top of his head. This part in here is black, but we're gonna work on the brown on the top of the bird now and his feathers. So we're gonna get some brown on our brush and we're gonna start painting his wing. So we're doing him brown. And now the top of his head is brown. And his tail. His tail has brown and it's also going to have some white in it and some yellow. So let's do his tail brown right now. And then beneath the brown, he has some white. So you want to clean off your brush if you're using the same brush. And you're going to put some white right beneath his head, his brown there. And he's going to have a little bit of white in his feathers. And let's just a little bit of white on the end of your brush and just make a couple little lines in his feathers with the white. And a few going down his tail, a few little white lines. Okay. Then we're going to want to make his, around his face is black. That little mask that he's got, that's black. And his beak is actually a blackish color. So you want to do the beak, and then we're going to put a little bit of lighter on that beak in a second. Around his eyeball, there's a teeny bit of white. And then the rest will be black. Now I know with my bird, I don't know about yours, but mine definitely 100% needs to have a little more yellow. So I am going to do that while I'm waiting. When you're ready, you let me know. We're just going to move on to the flowers.
I'm ready, Debbie.
Okay. All right, so let's I think we pretty much worked on the bird. You can do a few more things with it. But let's finish these flowers. So let's go with the flower that's directly under the bird. And that's like a purpley pink color again. So if you want to take your purple and even dip a little bit of white in with it. And all you're going to do is fill in all those lines. Make it just like a bunch of petals coming out. Just going to take your brush and just brush stroke some petals. Just like that, and it'll look fine. Just stroking some petals. It's a very whimsical flower. And in the center of that flower, you'll just put a couple little black strokes. We're almost done, guys. You're doing wonderful. This was a very, very, very advanced painting. But for the last one for the season, we got to do something challenging, right? center, you can just do a couple little black dots or black squigglies, whatever you want. Then we've got the one flower that's right in front of you on the left-hand side, and that is to be a yellow color again. You can take the lighter yellow if you want, and then highlight it with darker yellow. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm just taking a brush and dabbing everywhere where I drew a circle. I'm dabbing it. And then I'll put another color on top of that.
Recording in progress.
Debbie is done.
Okay, hon. Wow. I like the color of your birds. Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Very beautiful.
Jamie and Martha, if you've got yours done, if you want to hold them up, I'm recording it right now so I can snap them later. Oh my goodness. Martha, can you hold yours up?
Aren't
Oh,
they
yes.
beautiful?
Very nice.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Very, very nice.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
You guys have done a wonderful job.
I know. I'm so happy with everybody. Really happy.
Oh, Mary Lou.
Let me
Very
see.
nice.
Oh, I love it.
Very nice.
Oh, it's
I like what you did with the green tape around it, Mary Lou. So when you take it off, you're going to have that border.
Yeah. How about you, Brad? Wow, look at that one.
wow, really
Very
good.
Oh,
nice.
very good, Brad.
Really good. How do I say?
Really?
Thank you.
Oh, dry right now, but
Brad, could you hold it up again, please? Oh, yeah. And bring it to your left, I think. A little more. Oh, yes. Yes. Thank you.
Wow.
Oh,
That's really
gorgeous.
pretty, huh?
Very,
Not
very
bad.
nice.
not bad.
It's pretty darn good.
No, it's very good. Very, very good. Well, I guess if you want to say we're done, then we're done.
Okay. Peter, could you hold your painting
Oh yeah, I
up?
didn't even see Peter down there. There you are. Beautiful,
Oh,
Peter.
Oh, really
Very
good.
nice.
Wow.
Very nice.
Everybody's is lovely.
Really good.
Thank you all, Kathleen and Joanne, and a new lady that will be joining us in September, Caroline, extend their apologies, but they could not make it today. So Debbie is going to be providing just what you see in the other one.
Yeah.
Just her hand and what she's doing there, and it'll be so they can do it online at a later date.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's all turned out well. I pray that it did.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't
Thank you.
totally set up
I'm
for it.
sure it will.
Debbie.
But thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Like I said,
much.
have an amazing summer.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. And Debbie,
You as
thank
well.
you so much. And we'll be in touch in September.
Okay, everybody stay safe, okay?
Yes,
You
you
too.
too.
Take
Okay.
care.
Take care, you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Recording stopped.
Well, guys, this is it. I've still got shading to do on that bottom flower and some more shading to do, but the class has just ended. So I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll be having another class coming up on Monday of this week coming up, which would be, I believe, the 20th of June. Take care, everybody.